Come on, Vance. I'm gonna assault and batter you there, boy.
Hey, Bramlett, you want to crank that down a notch, babe?
I'm watching
A
it.
little louder there, Vance.
I turned it down.
Muskrat's beating me.
It's some low-rent program you guys got. All I ever get is day-old Danish.
Better than eating fresh Colombian lead, Bramlett.
Do your bit in court on Monday, and we'll take you out for filet. Freeze! Miami Vice!
Fast cars, flashy clothes, big money, heavy players, and the hot Miami scene.
These were the main ingredients that made Miami Vice one of the most innovative shows of the 1980s. Journey with Tim and Mark as we take a peek into the drama series with an MTV feel on the Vice of Miami podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Vice of Miami podcast for show number 10. We hope you enjoyed the last and long overdue episode of Vice of Miami covering the Great McCarthy. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode covering episode 9 of Miami Vice Season 1, Glades.
This episode's written by Rex Weiner and Alan Weisbecker, directed by Stan Lathan, and the original air date was November 30th, 1984.
And moving on to the plot summary, which was very, very simple. Crockett and Tubbs have to recover a witness in a major drug dealer's trial who has run off to the Everglades and must testify in 48 hours.
And that music can only mean one thing. It's bringing us to highlight the guest stars and list the co-stars for the episode. Tim, I'll let you start off.
All right, first up we have Margaret Whitton as Cassie Bramlett. She's an American actress born in 1950 in Philadelphia. She began her acting career on the off-Broadway stage with her first role in 1972's Baba Goya and Nourish the Beast. She made her film debut in Parades and her TV debut in the soap opera The Doctors before returning to the stage, making her Broadway debut in 1982's Steaming. Her most known role was Rachel Phelps, owner of the lowly Cleveland Indians baseball team in Major League and in the sequel, Major League 2. Her last credited film acting role was in the movie Trial by Jury. Whitton was married to former Bear Stearns executive Warren Spector from 1993 until her death from cancer in Palm Beach, Florida on December 4th, 2016.
Next up, we've got John Pankau as Floyd Higgins. He's an American actor born in 1954 in St. Louis. He grew up just outside Chicago and attended Northeastern University, where he was a theater arts major. He left school to attend Chicago's St. Nicholas Theater to learn his acting skills. He made his first film appearance in 1980's Life on the Mississippi and The Hunger with Dan Hedaya, before taking his first TV role in the soap opera The Doctors as Danny Martin, a role he had for nearly 1 year. Some of his movies include Secret of My Success, Batteries Not Included, Talk Radio, and his latest movie, Putzel. He also moved on to a regular role as Ira Buckman, cousin to Paul Buckman on the series Mad About You. He's still acting today. Pankau is married to Christine Sutherland, who is Joyce Summers of the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and has one daughter, Eleanor.
Next up, we have Jay Patterson as Billy Joe Higgins. Born in Cincinnati in 1954, Jay is an American actor. He made his debut in 1984's Places in the Heart. Patterson played in 1985's Heaven Help Us as Brother Constance, the strict disciplinarian in the Catholic school, and in DOA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Nobody's Fool, A Civil Action, Nice Guy Johnny, A Million Ways to Die in the West, Ted 2, and his most recent movie appearance, 2016's Norman. In television, he has guested in Law & Order SVU, Third Watch, Murder, She Wrote, The Equalizer, and his most recent TV appearance, It's Freezing Out There. Not much could be found in his personal life.
Finally, we have Keith Zerbaka as Joey Bramlett. Born in 1952 in Oak Park, Illinois, Keith's an American actor. He began his acting career with a role in 1980's Simon, followed by 1982's Missing, Protocol, Warning Sign, and Marie, before taking recurring roles in The Equalizer, Prophet, Angel, Cold Case, Golden Years, and numerous other TV series. Zerbaka has performed multiple voice roles in animated series like Duckman, Angry Beavers, The Wild Thornberrys, Batman Beyond, The Mummy, Heavy Gear. Zerbaka was married to Jennifer Meta Stewart from 1994 until their 2005 divorce. They have 2 sons, Jack and Caleb.
And here are the episode's co-stars. Tom Bishop as Bobby, Al Cox as Clem, George Gill as Ramon, William Kerwin as Paul,
Sean McAllister as Wendell, Ray Nicolaisen as Hank, Michael Sandler as Pa Ryan, and Shannon Unger as Tammy Bramlett. All right, now let's highlight the music making an appearance in this episode. First up, we Got to Get Out of This Place by The Animals. That's the opening sequence with stock shots of rundown Miami. I Send a Message by In Excess. That's when the girls are boxing.
And we also had Girls with Guns by Tommy Shaw, and that's when Crockett and Tubbs drive to the Everglades. Wooloo Mooloo by Jean-Michel Jarre, when Crockett is on the roof of the house he is about to enter. Now we're going to move on to the Goofs, Facts, and other location notables. First up, a couple of locations are Alligator Alley, and that is the aerial shots of Crockett and Tubbs when they drive to the Glades. Jimbo's Place, Arthur Lamb Road, Virginia Key, Key Biscayne, when Crockett and Tubbs arrive in the Everglades.
Next up is a goof. After Tubbs talks to the woman with the steno machine, she puts the machine in a case and then walks away. In the next shot, she carries the machine without the case. When Crockett drops down through the skylight in the Colombians' hideout, the man on the left falls to the floor long before Crockett actually shoots him. Also, Crockett's hair is now matted down by sweat, although it was dry just before he dropped through the skylight.
And we have a fun fact here. Gina and Trudy do not appear at all in this episode. This is the first of 3 consecutive episodes, along with Give a Little, Take a Little, and Little Prince, that open with establishing shots of the seedy areas of Miami, many of which are located in South Beach area before the revitalization that took place there during and after Miami Vice was on the air.
All right, it's time for the trivia portion of our show. In show number 9, we asked you, during the opening scene, Crockett and Tubbs bust Izzy Marino. Izzy denies that he never saw the money that was found in his possession. As they drag Izzy off to jail, what was Tubbs' response? Well, here you go.
Yeah, dear diary, what I did on my day off.
This week's trivia question is, what Clint Eastwood line did the Higgins brothers butcher, and how did they screw it up? You can post your answers on this episode's Facebook post, or you can email us at viceofmiamishow@gmail.com. We will air some of the answers. This is for fun, no prizes. All right, now it's time to start the discussion of...
Hold on, Tim.
What's up, Mark?
Before we start our discussion here, Tim, I was recently in our local bottle shop, and you could buy single cans, single bottles, whatever, and something caught my eye. I'm not promoting this company because I have not had this beer yet. It caught my eye. It's a nice bright yellow and orange can, 16-ouncer. It's called Vices, am I right? And it's by the Destination Unknown Beer Company, and I'm guessing they're out of New York. This is a Miami, it's listed right here on the label, Miami Vice-inspired sour IPA with lactose, conditioned in strawberry, lime, pineapple, coconut, and rum-soaked oak. Let me open it up, and we'll give it a... Foaming over, not by the computer. Nice bright color, smells very hoppy, nice head on it, nice straw color. Now the taste. Ooh, wow, very good, Tim. Typically, I'm not a IPA guy. I find them too hoppy, too bittery. I don't like that type of stuff. but the lactose really smooths this out, adds a little bit of sweetness, very slight hint of coconut. Can't really pick up the rum, though. Not really picking up the strawberry, but you definitely get a little scent of lime and pineapple there. So it's very good, very tasty. Again, I'm not an IPA guy, but this is very tasty. Again, Vices, Am I Right? By Destination Unknown Beer Company. So, Tim, if you could find this, or if anybody else could find this, give it a whirl. It's pretty tasty. I like it.
If I find it, I will post it to our Facebook page.
I'll definitely put a picture of the can and what it looks like in the glass. I'll post that on our Facebook page. But again, I'm not really promoting this, but I saw it, figured why not? And if you make a beer, you contact us and you could send it to us. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint is right.
Okay, Tim, start the discussion.
All righty. So now we come to the opening scene of Glades, and it begins with panning of shots of the seedy parts of Miami. Then it cues into what looks to be a motel, a deluxe budget type motel. And they cue in then to a room with Crockett and Tubbs protecting a court witness who we later learn is the name Joey Bramlett. And this guy is watching cartoons. The cartoon he's watching in particular was Deputy Dog. This is obviously mundane work for him because, they're just laying around and just, it's like whatever here. But it's necessary work because he's to testify against a drug dealer who we learn later be name of Ruiz, who's on trial. He is the star witness. From there, Zito and Switek show up to relieve Sonny and Rico, and they waste no time being Zito and Switek with their banter.
No, they don't waste time at all, Tim. They do not.
No, they do not.
Again, going back to the first episode, Zito and Switek are a class of their own.
And then, Rico starts changing for his court appearance because Zito and Switek, they're taking over from here. And Sonny makes a comment that he's trying to impress the court reporter. Bramlett was given her letter, and for the life of me, I don't remember whether it's Zito or Switek that gave it to him, but when they came in, that's how he came into possession of it. He reads it, and then he looks worried. Crockett and Tubbs then leave for court, and then that cues in the opening credits to the show.
All right, the next scene is the courtroom scene. Tubbs is on the witness stand. He's being questioned under direct examination by the prosecutor. He's testifying against drug dealer Ruiz, who killed a cop in the Everglades. The prosecutor pretty much finishes up, and the defense has no cross. They're pretty much feeling real confident on the outcome of the trial, or at least you could probably think that they know what they're doing. They've got something up their sleeve here. What we'll see, what they're going to do to make sure there is no negative outcome here. The trial's recessed until Monday. And then this where Tubbs puts the make on the court reporter, and he's summarily rejected. And it's pretty much Tubbs is lately.
striking out in the female field here.
Exactly. Okay, we're back at the motel here. Right after the court scene, Zito and Switek, they're pretty much arguing about the TV show, what they want to watch and all that. And they take their eyes off of Bramlett, who is kind of looking at the corner of his eyes, and he pretty much sneaks out of the motel room unabated. These guys don't even know it until they come out of the other room. They just look around and they know they're in deep doo-doo. This is where we end up back at OCB, back at headquarters. Frame Castillo in the frame here. Castillo is highly PO'd that the last 4 months of work are swirling the toilet bowl, going down the crapper. But he also concedes that it was Bramlett's idea to testify against Ruiz anyways. So everything's up in the air here.
4.5 months of work down the drain.
We were protecting him, Lieutenant. Who'd have thought I'd take a flyer?
Let me get this straight now. You let this guy just walk out. He didn't tie you up. He didn't pull a gun.
Shut up, Crockett.
Look, I had to take a whiz, okay?
Beautiful.
Enough.
He's the star witness, and the case is just going to fall apart like a croissant without him, all flaking all over. Zito and Switek volunteer to go find him, as they should have, because they're the goofballs who lost him. Castillo does what Castillo does. He just gives them that stare. He stares them down. Nothing more needs to be said as the job falls to Sonny and Rico. Castillo says find him by Monday before Ruiz does, because they all know the jig is up. Crockett and Tubb, they head to Harry's place, which is a known safe haven for Bramlett.
From there, and again, before we move on, I just love the Castillo look, just that icy cold stare. Some things are better left unsaid.
Exactly.
So, now we move. Go ahead.
Hold on. If anybody has seen the movie Fletch and there's a line, he doesn't say nothing. He just gives him that look. If you watch Fletch, you know what I'm talking about.
All right. Now we move on to Harry's place, and Harry seems to be a known entrepreneur who reinvents his branding frequently by hosting ladies mud wrestling. And his current venture as they walk in there is a ladies boxing, obviously known to Crockett and Tubbs just by the way they come up to him. You could see an established relationship, and they ask him, have you seen Bramlett? Where is he at? And he said, he was in here about 2 hours ago. He said, go look for him at Okeechobee Springs in the Glades. And as we find out, the Everglades is a place that is controlled by Ruiz and the Colombians where they conduct drug dealing operations. Then you get this long driving sequence that shows Crockett and Tubbs traveling to the Glades in a Spider with fishing gear poking out. Could they be a little bit more obvious about this?
No. No, they couldn't. Hey, Tim, just by the way, I'm drinking this beer. Oh my gosh, is it smooth? It gets smoother as you go. It comes in at a 7.5% ABV.
Wow. Very good.
Yum. Moving on. Where are we at?
We're at the Okeechobee Springs now.
Okeechobee Springs, yes. Crockett and Tubbs, they arrive at Okeechobee's posing as Sonny Bates and Leroy Reese. And they're looking to do some fishing. Yeah, right. They encounter a bunch of rednecks, including Floyd and Billy Joe Higgins. Being as they are, they strike up conversation, a little bit of banter back and forth. And they ask for Joey Bramlett, who they seek to be their fishing guide.
You boys want a beer?
Sure, thanks a lot.
Mammy, bring us another round. Put it on my tab.
I'm Sonny Bates. This here's Leroy Reese.
Floyd Higgins.
Floyd?
This here's my brother, Billy Joe.
Hey, Billy Joe.
Bill?
We was wondering if maybe y'all could help us. We're looking for a guide that we used a few years back. I believe his name was
Bramlett, I think.
Yeah.
Shoot. We got lots of Bramletts in these parts. We got fat Bramletts, skinny ones. We even got ourselves an albino Bramlett.
Well, obviously this piques the interest of Billy Joe and Floyd. They're seeing right through this. They know he's full of it. So anyway, the Higgins brothers chum up to them. They buy them beers and offer to take Crockett and Tubbs to Bramlett because they know where he's at. The jig is up, obviously. These guys know that they probably know that they're the cops right away. Personally, I'm guessing that the Spider with the fishing gear is no more out of the place than the DeLorean that was sitting in the lot. I don't know if you caught that, Tim.
I did not.
Yep, I'm fairly certain there was a DeLorean sitting there, unless it was some hill rod making his car look like a DeLorean. But anyway, this place even has a local yokel playing the fiddle, which turns out to be more of an asset than a hill rod, as we will see soon enough.
Yes. The Higgins brothers offer to take Sonny and Leroy to Joey Bramlett. So they end up driving out into the middle of nowhere in the Glades. They stop the Jeep. I believe it was Billy Joe that first pulled out a gun on Crockett and Tubbs, and this is where that Eastwood line is botched up, and they threaten to feed him to the Gators. Then they proceed to work Crockett and Tubbs over and ask them why they want to see Bramlett. But then, even with them coming with an expensive car, fishing gear, things like that, Floyd doesn't think that they're cops, otherwise they would already know where Bramlett is. So then he just leave them stranded, figuring that they'll be eaten by the Gators they want to feed him to, and that's where Sonny says to Rico, I think we made an error in judgment here.
No, slightly more than an error in judgment. And as we can see, this episode is very simple. It's very basics. Tim, I don't know what you think about that. It's basics on the storylines and the flow, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, stuff like that. So now we have Crockett and Tubbs lost in limbo. They're making an attempt to find their way back to the main road by filing the moss, which grows on the north side of the trees, but it doesn't seem to be working for them. City slickers ain't good at tracking their way out of the jungle. I don't think so, Tim, right? I think it's ironic. And Tim, I think you do too. It's ironic that Sonny, who is in Vietnam, doesn't know how to find your way where you want to go by using what's out there. What's even more odd was that Crockett said that, I think the sun is in the wrong spot. Personally, I think that line was below Crockett's level. But anyway, suddenly they run into more rednecks with shotguns, which seem to be a family. A woman with a rifle appears and says, "You must be Crockett and Tubbs." So I think everybody pretty much knows everybody down here as far as what they want, what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yep. The woman, Cassie, she takes them in a boat and doesn't really say much. Sonny goes on his diatribe summarizing their adventures to this place. They slowly move through the swamp there. Cassie pulls the boat ashore and leads them to a house in the middle of nowhere. As the scene concludes here, Crockett and Tubbs find that Bramlett's in the house with his family and friends. He says to them, "What took you so long?"
How you boys doing today?
See what I mean, man? Nothing makes any sense. We're in the damn twilight zone.
Took you guys so long. My wife, Cassie. Well, hey, here's Pa Ryan. This is his house. Him and Ma. And this is their daughter, Janie Lee. And Hank, Jimmy, and Bob.
You want to knock off the how do you do's, Bramlett? Why did you book from custody? And what the hell are you doing here?
I owe you guys an explanation.
Isn't that nice?
So again, obviously, everything's coming into play here. All the sprockets are lining up. And the old feller playing the fiddle at the store, he must have been there for a reason because he shows up here as well.
Now they are led by Cassie and the other rednecks with shotguns and rifles inside the Bramlett house. You know, it's a basic single family home, kitchen, one room house, you know, but it's not even multicolored, okay? We find out that Cassie, in fact, is Bramlett's wife. Sonny demands an explanation for why Joey escaped the protected custody, and that's where he says the letter that he received when he was in a motel was from Ruiz, who stated that they had kidnapped their daughter and basically were using her as leverage to keep Joey from testifying. They continue to tell Crockett and Tubbs that Ruiz has the whole town under his thumb. Most of the swamp people are drug runners themselves. Basically, they're running Mary Jane, to be exact. And Ruiz kills them off so they won't cut into his action.
All right, Tim. They don't want, Ruiz doesn't want them to cut in action. Cassie and Joey, they plead for Crockett and Tubbs to help them get their daughter back as she's being held by the Higgins brothers, and we find out 20 Colombians. Doing the math, Bramlett only has a crew of 6, plus Crockett and Tubbs to carry out any mission of rescue here. And they're really begging these two because they know that Crockett and Tubbs know how to get stuff done. Pops tells Sonny that during a drug drop tomorrow night, Colombians will be busy, so that's when they should be able to take the house and get the daughter back.
Tomorrow night, though.
Hey, Pops, you were the fiddle at the bar.
Overheard Floyd and Billy Joe. There's gonna be a drop tomorrow night. At least half of them Colombians gonna be real busy.
Crockett. Come on, man. Even with an experienced team, maybe.
So fast forward to dark here. Crockett and Tubbs, they're going to do a recount of the house. Crockett's not hopeful, but he agrees. They find tons of guns here at the house where the girl is. And they decide they're going to need a diversion. During this diversion, they're saying that, Tubbs should shoot up the offload of drugs. And then Clint's going into town here to get more information on where the drug house is. Tim?
And then it was at this point, Mark, that they kept on going back and forth between Clinton Town, back to the Bramlett, back to Clinton Town. I just found that a little bit choppy in flow of this show. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was just choppy. Exactly. That's a great word. Do one scene, do the other, and, move it on. I think we all kind of figured out that, they're going to go here and check this out. So why go back and forth?
So anyway, Clint goes into town. They show him messing with the Higgins Jeep. Billy was in town buying some food or beer, whatever he was buying. And then it cuts to the Bramlett house again, where over breakfast, the family tells Crockett and Tubbs that they're running weed to make money to survive. Again, this is the Everglades has a lot of very poor people there, so they're doing what they're doing to survive. Then it cuts back to Clinton Town. Billy discovers that his Jeep is not starting because Clint rented it out of service. Clint agrees to drive Billy home, and in the process, Billy asks to borrow Clint's truck at 2 o'clock in the morning, and Clint asks why, and Billy says, "You know what? I can't tell you that." But then Clint says, "It really doesn't matter because my mind's not good anymore. I'm not going to remember it anyway.
Well, they don't make them like this no more.
You reckon you're going to use this truck tonight?
Don't reckon. Why?
I had a mind to borrow it.
Why? What time?
Late, about 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Y'all got a load coming in tonight?
You know I ain't supposed to talk about that, Clem.
I'm just curious, Billy. Hell, you know my mind done gone to hell. What we talking about anyhow?
So they just fast forward a little bit, and it's Clint drops Billy at the house. And as we find out that Billy did give a little bit too much information, because they go back to the Bramlett home again. And that's where Clint reports that the drug drop will be at dawn.
This is where they come up with the game plan here. What they're going to do, Crockett's going to take a team to the house and make some noise with Claymore mines. And then Tubbs will take the second team to pin down the Colombians at the dock while they're picking up the drugs.
Okay, let's run it again. Paul.
Okay, me, Jimmy, Bramlett, we nail all the Colombians on that front porch when you get inside.
You got it. Hank?
Yeah, Paul Ryan, me, Bobby, Tubbs. We're going to keep them busy down at the offload in town.
Yeah, you men wait till I fire first. It's our job to keep the Colombians at the docks pinned down.
All right, now y'all remember, I'm going to be inside with his daughter. And the guns we're using will rip through this old house from stem to stern. So you got to cover this front and don't let anybody get inside.
I'm going to.
Once Tubbs' team creates the diversion here, Sonny's team is going to move in and they'll take down the crew left behind at the house and rescue the daughter. Clint is with Sonny and is bringing his gator killing gun. It seems to be his favorite piece, I guess. Crockett teams move into place at night. Sonny's on the roof all night. I don't know how he's staying up there for who knows how many hours. And also, how does he not get found out even at daybreak? Billy Higgins is at the home. Tubbs' team is in place, and Floyd's with the Colombians at the dock. And now we have the rescue being executed.
Because here comes dawn, and we see the delivery plane landing at the town dock. The Tubbs team moves in as the Colombians get ready to take delivery. They open fire, pinning down the Colombians because it's probably within very close distance. Sonny's team hears the open fire. They move in. They open fire. Bodies start dropping. At the dock, Floyd attempts to escape, but Rico apprehends him. During this, Clint's special gun has many misfires, thus providing no help in the plan ongoing. Sonny enters the home through the roof and finds Billy holding the girl as a shield. Crockett's line of "maybe you won't even twitch" to the guy that had them at gunpoint could have been a play on the Clint Eastwood line, "the boys messed up."
You let me out of here, she's dead.
You don't walk out of here with that child.
If I twitch, she's gone.
Maybe you won't even twitch.
Definitely would agree with that. Crockett drops him like a bad habit and rescues the girl. The Bramlett family is reunited on the porch. Suddenly, a hidden Colombian emerges and is blown away by Clint. His gun finally provides the final blow.
Yeah, as far as this part, just like the last episode, kind of anticlimactic. But moving on, Monday morning at court where Ruiz will probably be set free. Here we go, a nail-biting scene as a judge is about to release Ruiz because Bramlett's not there to testify. And just like every other show, down to the last word of the judge, I find you not good. Crockett and Tubb get him there on time. Yay.
Your Honor, if the court pleases our witness, Mr. Bramlett will be here any minute. We'd like to ask for a short continuance until this afternoon.
The night. It's been over 2 hours now. Sufficient time for Mr. Bramlett, who has arrived. We will proceed at this time. Do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Well, then, based on these circumstances, I have no choice but to dismiss.
Your Honor, the state calls Joey Bramlett to the stand.
He takes the witness stand and freeze frame. Crack and Tubbs looks on with relief on their faces. Maybe Tubbs should have shouted out, "Guilty jump!" Maybe that would have worked well, just like in the last episode. Again, they get
the forced over. You wanted that forced overacting again?
Yeah, exactly. Just like last time, anticlimactic.
Yeah, it just pretty much was. So with that, why don't we go over the ratings, Mark?
All right, we certainly will. IMDb gives this a paltry 7.5. Ouch, that stings, but deservedly so, I think. I'm going to give this a thumbs down, Tim. Very bland, very base, very non-Miami Vice-ish episode. But as we said, it's showing the different side of Florida and the whole Vice scene, that it's not only parties and high fashion and fast cars and fast boats. You get those hillbillies. You get those, that's a seedy part of the town. You get those people down on the luck. They're still doing the drugs. They're the one buying the drugs. So the only part that was remotely good was when they scoped out and planned the capture of the kidnapped girl. And even then, I think it could have been more. They could have done more as far as maybe kidnapping a Colombian and get more information, something like that. And then the other nail biter, which was, I guess, a feigned nail biter, was, would Bramlett make it to court in time? Yeah, of course he would.
Of course he did. You know what? They only, minus commercials, they only got 45 minutes to put together a show, so they kept it simple and to the point. You know, I give this a quarter thumbs up only because of the botched Clint Eastwood line by the Higgins brothers. Back when this episode originally aired, I thought that was the funniest thing and laughed for hours afterward. I think this episode was also, and we've talked about this already, created to showcase what life outside Miami was. In this case, the swamp, what that was like. And it's like the dichotomy between the flashy and the poor sides of life. This is a very simple and straightforward plot.
Okay, we have come to the part of the show where we hope to inspire or enlighten people. We've officially named this Nerd's Chalkboard of Wisdom. In both the world of Miami Vice and our current world at large, we encounter many challenges we work to overcome. In the interest of creating a family-friendly atmosphere through the show and our social media, we'd like to offer some parting thoughts. A simple quote, phrase, words of encouragement, or funny quip to you, our listeners. Because without you, our friends, we'd be talking to ourselves. And we say friends because that's what we consider all of you who follow our show and social media. This week's quote is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Two paths diverged in the woods, and I took the road less traveled by. And that has made all the difference.
And with that, we'd like to bring this episode of the Vice of Miami podcast to a close. Mark and I appreciate each and every one of you listening. We hope you enjoy what we have to offer on our shows. Please spread the word about us and comment and rate us on your podcast platforms. We'll see you next time for Vice of Miami show number 11, where we discuss episode number 10, Give a Little, Take a Little.
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Vice of Miami Podcast, or email us at viceofmiamishow@gmail.com.
Please rate us and comment on the episodes and spread the word about the show. On YouTube, press the like button and hit the subscribe bell.